So, the Borderlands movie came out, and it's less than optimal. But an interesting consequence of the movie's release is that lots of people are talking about the franchise as a whole, particularly the third game, and particularly their grievances over it. Just in case you're unfamiliar with the franchise, let's catch up real quick. Borderlands 1 released in 2009, and the game was a smash hit. At the time, the majority of shooter games were gritty, heavily serious, and grounded military shooters looking to cash in on the success of the Call of Duty franchise, or were a part of the franchise themselves. With an RPG loot and XP progression system, cel-shaded graphics, and a sci-fi setting dripping with dark humor, Borderlands stood out and won most people's hearts instantly. In 2012, 2 dropped, with a new cast of heroes, new areas to explore, seemingly more of everything loved about the original game, all crowned by the appearance of the franchise's best villain, Handsome Jack. Borderlands 2 quickly skyrocketed to the top of most people's lists of great games. And then, in 2019, 3 dropped. Again, a new cast of heroes. Again, new worlds to explore. But the reaction from the fanbase wasn't the same. 3 is the reviled failure of the franchise. The bastard unwanted child. The one that wasn't good enough. Let's take a look at why, and if it's deserved. The majority of complaints about Borderlands 3 come down to 2 points. 1, the villains of the game, the twins, aren't good. They're boring, annoying, and fail to live up to the massive shoes left by Handsome Jack. 2, the writing is subpar. The jokes are cringe, and the characters poorly done. And for the most part, I agree with these points. But there's a vitriol, a hatred for 3. And I don't think that's really called for. Yes, the twins are weaker antagonists than Jack. But out of 4 main games and a sizable amount of side material, it's more accurate to say that Jack is the only good antagonist in the franchise. Do you remember the antagonist from 1? I'll even make it easy on you. Here's her face. What's her name? Despite spawning one of the most memorable villains in gaming in the past decade, overall the franchise isn't about that. And I think it's weird that the twins get so much hate just for failing at the monumental task of trying to follow up Jack, when they're just one in a long line of mediocre villains for the franchise. In a similar vein, another complaint about the game is the writing. The jokes are cringe, the characters are awful, the plot makes no sense, and the writing is too referential in its humor. Let me introduce you to some moments from the previous games. Scooter, not even a few minutes after being introduced, compares his mother's vagina to a cave. The knockoff TMNT eat pizza covered in piss. People with dwarfism. That's it, that's just the joke sometimes. Such riveting jokes as, Tannis hates bacon, Tannis hates music, and of course the ever easily made fun of, Tannis might be autistic. Roland dies to a single gunshot in a setting where anti-bullet personal shields are not only present, but so commonplace that they are readily available and are plot relevant in certain quests. Siren magic just works however the plot demands at any given moment. Bandits, alien monsters, Hyperion, and multiple other antagonistic forces are so threatening as to drive the plot, but are also so weak that individual people living in rundown shacks in the middle of the wastes are perfectly safe. And as far as referential humor, let's list off just a few things the first 2 games make references to. Back to the Future, Star Trek, The Addams Family, Monty Python, The Little Mermaid, Frogger, Inspector Gadget, Sherlock Holmes, Vanilla Ice, Edgar Allan Poe, The Honeymooners, Pulp Fiction, Spaceballs, Doctor Who, Dukes of Hazzard, Downton Abbey, Pokemon, Dark Souls meme culture, The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dune, The Lion King, Donkey Kong, Moby Dick, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, R. Kelly, Sly Cooper, Isaac Asimov, BioShock, Pee-wee's Playhouse, The Legend of Zelda, Gordon Ramsay, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, A Clockwork Orange, Transformers, Mortal Kombat, General Hospital, Minecraft, The Boondock Saints, Fallout, Kiki's Delivery Service, Dirty Harry, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, South Park, Freeman's Mind, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, The Hunger Games, Splinter Cell, Jurassic Park, Metallica, Game of Thrones, Jimi Hendrix, and many, many, many more. A reference to the double rainbow meme, a reference that was dated before Rooster Teeth could even make a video about it. And look, I don't think these are inherently bad. Referential humor, plot holes, and bad jokes can be charming in their own way, and certainly are, given the franchise's success. I just think it's weird that 3 gets dunked on for a poorly written antagonist, cringy jokes, and referential humor, when these have been mainstays of the franchise since its first installment. This is all on top of people just ignoring how good everything else in 3 is. I never hear anyone talk about how much fun it is that every character gets multiple action skills and perks to customize your character's ability. Mose has a giant mech, Flack has a monkey with a shotgun, Amara is a walking nuke, and Zane's holocopy with its teleport switch is the most fun I've ever had playing a Borderlands game, on top of 3 other toys to play with, which goes for everyone in the list. Compared to, I don't know, throwing a bird, or deploying a bug turret that doesn't scale with you and becomes useless after an hour, I just think Borderlands 3 has a lot to offer, and it's not fair to treat it like unplayable trash for faults that have been in the franchise since the beginning. It's a fun game, and I really like it.